Subscribe to Simplified Biology channel and press the bell icon to get notified when a new video is uploaded. Hello friends, welcome to Simplified Biology. Today's topic is BRYOPHYTA of the chapter Plant Kingdom. BRYOPHYTA. Bryophytes are referred as amphibians of plant kingdom, as they require land and water to complete their life cycle. They are found growing in moist, shady places. The plant body of a bryophyte is parenchymatous and has no vascular tissue. They have a haplodiplontic life cycle. Means a well-defined alternation of generation is seen where both gametophyte and sporophytic generation are well represented in the life cycle. Gametophyte, which is haploid, and sporophyte, which is diploid, both the generations are well represented in the life cycle, but they are heteromorphic. Means they differ from each other morphologically. Now, as the name shows, haplodiplontic means the main part of the life cycle is haploid or the gametophyte. So the plant body here is gametophyte. The bryophytes that we see are the gametophyte. Sporophyte is parasitic on the gametophyte. The sporophyte grows upon the gametophyte and depends on the gametophyte for nutrition. Now, the plant body of a bryophyte is a thallus. That is, it is not differentiated into roots, stem, and leaves. They are attached to the substratum. Substratum is the surface on which they grow by means of rhizoids. Rhizoids which are unicellular in the lower forms and multicellular in the higher forms. As they are gametophyte, so they reproduce by sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is highly specialized oogamous. Means they have a non-motile larger egg and motile smaller, the male gamete or the antherozoids. So the male XX organ of a bryophyte is antheridium, while the female sex organ is an archegonium. The antheridium is a club-shaped structure having a stalk and an upper swollen part which has a single jacket layer, enclosing within a mass of androcytes. Now these androcytes, as they are released, they get converted into the biflagellated antherozoids, which are the male gametes. So when an antheridium matures, the jacket layer breaks up and the antherozoids are released. The female sex organ, that is archegonium, is a flask-shaped structure. It has a lower swollen part called the venter, which has a two-layered wall, and an upper elongated neck, which has a single-layered wall. Now, present in the venter is an egg cell and a venter canal cell. While present in the neck are 4 to 10 neck canal cells. Now, when an archegonium matures, the venter canal cell and the neck canal cells, they degenerate, due to which a free passage is formed. Mucilage and some chemical substances ooze out of the neck, tip of the neck, that attract the antherozoids. So movement of antherozoids towards the archegonia is chemotactic. That is attraction towards chemicals. The antherozoids swim through the neck, reaching the venter, where they fuse with the egg to form zygote. So fertilization takes place with the help of water. Bryophytes can be divided into three classes. Hepaticopsida, also known as liverworts, example Riccia, Markensia, Porella. Next is Anthoceratopsida, example Anthocerus. And last, Bryopsida or the mosses, which include Funaria, Sphagnum, Polytrichum. Liverworts or the lower bryophytes, they are found growing in the moist shady places like banks of streams, damp soil, tree barks, and deep inside the woods. Now, in most liverworts, the thallus is dorsiventrally flattened. That means they grow flat on the surface of the substratum. And their dorsal surface and the ventral surface of these thallus can be differentiated. There are some leafy members like Porella, which consists of small leaves arranged in 2 rows on the stem. Now, the most liverworts are dorsiventrally flattened. Internally, the thallus can be divided into 2 parts. The upper part of the thallus is the photosynthetic part, which consists of chloroplasts that can undergo photosynthesis, while the lower part is the storage zone. And the thallus is attached to the substratum by unicellular rhizoids. Vegetative reproduction in liverworts occur by fragmentation, means if any part of the thallus breaks up, it has the capability to develop into a new plant. And vegetative reproduction also takes place by the help of gamete. Now, gamete are multicellular structures growing upon the thallus in groups inside a gamete cup. Now, these are the gamete cups inside which develop the multicellular gamete. When they get separated from the thallus, they divide to form the new plant. Sexual reproduction, as we know, in bryophyte is oogamous. Liverworts are either monoecious, that is the male and the female sex organs develop on the same plant, or dioecious, that is the male and the female sex organs develop on separate plants. Riccia is monoecious, while Markensia is dioecious. Now, in Markensia, Antheridia and Archegonia, they develop in groups on long stalks. Since Mertensia is dioecious, though we have a female plant and a male plant. The long stalks of on which the Archegonia grow are known as Archegoniophore, while the long stalks on which Antheridia grow are known as Antheridiophore. So these are a group of Archegonia growing on the Archegoniophore, while these are the groups of Antheridia growing upon the Antheridiophore. Fertilization occurs with the help of water and the zygote divides to form the sporophyte. The sporophyte consists of a small foot, seta, and a capsule. Developing inside the capsule in case of Mertensia are haploid spores that are formed after meiosis from the spore mother cells and diploid hygroscopic elaters. Diploid elaters that are hygroscopic, that is, they can absorb water and lose water. They help in dispersal of spores. The spores, when they fall on a suitable substratum, germinate to form the new thallus. Next, the mosses. Funaria is the moss plant. Now, mosses have two stages in their life cycle. A protonema stage and an erect stage. Now, in the protonema stage, the protonema is filamentous, branched, creepy, means it grows flat on the surface of the soil. Now, these are the filamentous branched protonema growing on the soil, attached to the substratum or the soil by the help of rhizoids. Developing on the protonema are buds. Now, these buds divide to form the erect stage. The erect stage has a stem-like axis upon which develop leaf-like structures that are spirally arranged, and it is attached to the substratum by multicellular branched rhizoids. So the erect stage consists of multicellular branched rhizoids, a stem-like axis, and the leaf-like structures which are spirally arranged on the axis. Vegetative reproduction in mosses occurs by budding, means the buds developing on the protonema. When they get separated, they divide to form the new plant, and even by fragmentation of the secondary protonema. Secondary protonema develops from parts other than the spore. Mosses are monoecious, means the male and the female sex organs develop on the same plant, but they develop on different branches. Archegonia and Antheridia, they develop in groups. Archegonia develop on the upper part of a branch, while Antheridia develop on the upper part of the main axis. The group of Archegonia and Antheridia are seen mixed with sterile filaments called paraphyses. Sterile filaments called paraphyses grow along with the group of Antheridia and Archegonia. They provide nutrition and protection to the developing Antheridia and Archegonia. So these are the group of Archegonia mixed with sterile filaments called paraphyses and surrounding which are the leaf-like structures. While these are a group of Antheridia mixed with sterile filaments called paraphyses surrounding which are the leaf-like structures. Fertilization occurs with the help of water, and the zygote that is formed after fertilization divides to form the sporophyte. Now this is the sporophyte, which consists of a foot lying in the Archegonia, an elongated seta, and an upper capsule. Sporophyte in mosses is semi-parasitic on the gametophyte. The capsule of the moss plant is an elaborate structure that can be divided into 3 parts. It has a lower part that is apophysis, cells of which contain chloroplast, hence it is photosynthetic. It is due to this that the sporophyte in funaria or the mosses is semi-parasitic upon the gametophyte. Lying above the apophysis is the middle theca, inside which is present the spore sac, in which develop the haploid spores after meiosis. And lying above the theca, covering the spore sac, is the operculum or the cap. Now, when the cap or the operculum is released, it opens the spore sac. But further covering the spore sac after the operculum is released are peristome teats. Now these are the peristome teats that develop in 2 rows of 16 each that completely cover the spore sac. These peristome teats are hygroscopic in nature. Under dry conditions, these teats, they lose water. They lose water and hence bend outwards, opening the spore sac from which the spores are released. These spores, when they fall on a suitable substratum, divide to form the filamentous protonema, in which develop the buds which grow into the erect plant. Economic importance of bryophytes. They form food for herbaceous mammals, birds, and other animals. Sphagnum provides peat, which is used as fuel since many years. Due to the water holding capacity of the bryophytes, they are used in packing living material in shipments. And due to this water holding capacity, moss sticks are used to grow ornamental plants in the garden. Bryophytes are also ecologically very important. They play a role in plant succession on bare rocks. They are the first to colonize along with lichens on the bare rocks. Now, developing on the crevices of the bare rocks are first the lichens, which releases acids that breaks down the rock, upon which then develop the bryophytes. They help in converting the rock into soil particles. Bryophytes form a dense mat on the soil, hence preventing soil erosion. That's all for today. Please do like, subscribe and comment, and also visit our website by clicking on the link given below. Thank you for watching.